and welcome to another episode of DioTalk. I'm Dio. Let's talk. My guest today is the author of Leveling Up. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Francis Castillo. How you doing, brother?
Thank you, D.I.O. My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me on the show today.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. How you been, man?
I've been great, man. I'm officially a month or less countdown to my 35th birthday, so I'm excited.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you so much.
35 and you're looking young, brother.
Hey, the black don't crack, man. The melanin, I guess, is good to me. So the genes are good to me.
That's what's up. So talk to me a little bit about this awesome book you wrote not too long ago. Like,
thank you.
What's it about? What I love it. It's so intriguing because it's about financial. It tells your inspirational story, and also you talk about a little bit about mental health in your book as well. So tell me a little bit about that.
100%. I'm gonna try not to give too many of the gems away, but
yes.
Like Dio said, this is the book right here. It's titled Leveling Up with Francis Castillo.
There you go.
Spiritually, mentally, and financially. It took me literally 2.5 years to write the book.
Well, really?
I launched it and released it December 17th, 2020. It's been a blessing, man. The journey was amazing. Just going from the thoughts to actually writing down my thoughts to typing to actually getting it printed, man. So it was a very tedious but yet joyful and joyous moment when I released the book. And since I released the book, I've sold over 150 copies.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. There you go. What inspired you to write this book?
So that's a great question. So I was reading other books. I've always been an avid reader growing up. My father always used to make me read, books, Little Bear, Blackbeard, Harry Potter books. So I've always, if it intrigued me, I would latch on and read it. If it didn't intrigue me, I just kind of brush over it, skim, right? So I never inspired to be a writer at all. But I was reading like 2 books like 3 years ago. I was reading T.D. Jakes' book, and I was reading a book about Steve Harvey. And those were really inspirational books. The book prior to that, John C. Maxwell, he's a motivational speaker. I read his book as well. And then it dawned on me one day. I was like, all those books kind of have the same thing. They tell a story. And I was like, hell, I have a story I can tell. So I just started to write from that day, and that was the inspiration.
Wow. Now, writing the writing process, was it very time consuming? Did you find yourself like you start writing, then you crumble the paper and throw it away and then start again? Or was it something that you were able to flow? Like once you started, put your thought process in, the ink to paper, everything just flowed.
That's a good question. So I tell people all the time, the process of writing is it can be therapeutic because you're writing down your thoughts and you're getting it out of your head. But also as a writer, you don't know if your work is actually good. I tell people all the time, prime example, this hat, you can see that it's something you can visually buy and it can intrigue you, it can entice you. But with a book, you don't know is good until somebody comes back to you after reading the book that it's actually good. As far as the process of writing, it's like I just wrote, and then my editor, she came together, and we came together, and we kind of organized the chapters, how the book was going to flow. So at first, I was just kind of just writing. I had an idea how I wanted
the rough draft.
Yeah. But the editor, she kind of made a great job of cleaning up my words and flowing the chapters of how I wanted to go.
So was that working with the editor a tough process? Was it a frustrating process, or was it something smooth transition? Like, was you getting all your points of view, the topics you wanted to bring to the table?
Man, you know what? It was a great process when I finally found the right one. I say that because you have to search for an editor, because you want to have someone that believes in you and understands your writing and brings the best out of you and brings the best out of your work. So when I was done with the book, because I wrote the book in a composition book,
Mm.
wrote it. Then I typed it. So I typed it up. So anyway, I was looking for an editor and I was struggling looking for an editor. So I looked up Fiverr. It's a freelance
Yeah,
app,
yes.
and Upwork. And I still couldn't find the right one that I felt was right. So I talked to my coworker about the book. I was like, I'm done, but I need to find an editor. And she was like, hey, my homegirl has an editor. She wrote a book too. Her name is Crystal. So Crystal got Crystal's number. Crystal turned me on to her editor.
Shout out to Crystal.
Yes. And lo and behold, her editor was from Belize, and that's where I'm from. So I kind of knew it was kind of destiny. God kind of
There
aligned
you
us
go.
together.
That's what's
I,
up.
it's crazy weird. And she lives in New York, and I live all the way in North Carolina. So it's kind of weird, but we made it happen.
Wow, man, that's beautiful. That's coming for totally full circle.
100%.
So like you wrote this awesome book. You went through this journey finding an editor because that's a task in itself, right? But that's not the only thing you do. Like I've been researching you, brother. You're a full-blown entrepreneur. You have that passion, that drive, man. Talk to me a little bit about that.
100%, man. I've been an entrepreneur for about over 10 years now. I've been lucky to be in the opportunity to trying to be an entrepreneur. Like both my grandfathers were entrepreneurs, but I didn't grow up around the culture.
Mm.
I spent 13 years in the medical field, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. I was an anesthesia technician, so my 9 to 5 was actually putting people to sleep. But literally, literally
Literally.
call me the Sandman. I put you to sleep.
Eh,
But it wasn't my passion. My passion, I grew to understand that my passion was entrepreneurship. One, I didn't like people telling me what to do a lot. I
mm.
don't know why. And two, entrepreneurship gave me freedom, man. So basically, my journey's been
But
throwing parties.
hold up right there, because those are two important things right there: freedom and don't like being told what to do. If you little did you know, I have so much struggle with jobs, right? Like I've worked myself from a regular job to now the corporate world and be somebody valuable in the corporate world, right? Um, and that people tell me what to do, especially people that think they know and don't have no idea what the fuck is going on, right? That sort of like drives you crazy, right?
100%.
Right?
100%. The one thing I hate is this is my thing, and let me let the viewers know. Let me correction. I don't mind being told what to do. I can take constructive criticism, but what I hate is if I know how to do my job and you're on my back, or
Yes,
you're
yes.
constantly telling me what to do, and that is the most irritating thing to me. That's why I like entrepreneurship because I'm my own boss. I can wake up and I can do whatever I want when I want to do it. So
Yeah, man.
it's
That,
pretty
and then the freedom. I think that's the most, like, I remember, these 9 to 5 jobs, and I just stood there. My task was done, and yeah, I was getting paid, but yet, you find yourself like being trapped. You can do so much more, and yet you're stuck in this box. You know, I don't know if you ever felt that way, but I definitely did a lot.
100%. I mean, I felt that way for a long time. I tell people all the time the biggest thing about being an entrepreneur is when you work a 9 to 5. The good thing about 9 to 5 is one, you're investing in your retirement, and two, it's guaranteed money. It's guaranteed 40 hours or 80 hours, or whatever amount of hours you get, and it guarantees you longevity. But the thing about entrepreneurship is, and that's why I respect a whole lot more. I respect entrepreneurship a lot more because you have to create that revenue, you have to create that money. So you literally have to go cold call some people. You really have to network, create, and build your brand and build your business, and that can be hard to do. But
Yes,
it's well worth it once you get it going.
yes. I totally agree. I have my podcast. I do real estate with my wife. I have my own t-shirt printing business. So it's, throughout the years that I've been building this, I've read and numerous numbers of articles, right? I tell you, The first 3 years you're not making money. It's loss. You count that as loss. It takes you up to at least your fifth year to actually start making some profit of income. Um, and out of everything that I've read, that's the most consistent thing that everybody had said. But see, there's two types of entrepreneurs. You got the person that just looks apart, dressed in a suits that they can't afford, drives a car that clearly cannot afford. But then you have the other entrepreneur that dresses like us, right? And we have so many things going. We have so many hats, from marketing to financial, fixing the budget, stocking, so many things they're doing, so many things that are happening in our lives, right?
Sure.
That it's at the end, like you said, it's all worth it. It all comes together. And man, it's amazing. I'm happy to see, individuals like yourself actually doing it.
And thank you, man. And kudos to you. Hats off to you, man, because you're an entrepreneur. And I say that because you can look at the hats that you wear. You got a podcast. That's a hat within itself. You're a husband, and then you got a t-shirt business and real estate. So I tell people all the time, the millionaires usually have 7 streams of income.
Yes.
Usually it's real estate, stock market, multiple businesses, which can be like logistic businesses, trucking businesses. Like, so going back to real estate, you got rental property, flipping homes, selling houses, things of that nature. And they usually have other businesses as well. So that's the road to true wealth, when you have freedom in your time. So hats off to you as well. And same thing here, man. It's like I have multiple hats. So I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a certified life coach, author, and the 4 businesses I have a life coaching business, which is kind of like consulting. Then I have DNC Creative Services LLC. So it's kind of like a digital media marketing business. Market several clients. I'm gonna give them a shout out later on. And then I just bought into another company, which was a clothing company. So I got that company going as well. So it's constantly learning how to micromanage and manage all these different things. But it's like you said, it's well worth it.
The freedom part, right? Like I've always I've always had a problem, and where like I don't like doing one thing. Like I've always like little, very tedious, and like I want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, which is slowly incorporating, building a lot of businesses, like from real estate and t-shirt and my brand and the podcast. Like, did you feel that same way? Like you didn't want to be stuck in one place?
A lot of the stuff I kind of just stumbled upon. And I say that because like usually people like me or you, we're very talented. So we don't like to get buckled down to like one thing. And what I found myself was thinking like, I don't want to be that person that's 30, 40 years down the road and say, and if I know what I know now, I never wanted to be that person. So that's why I've always been willing to try different things. And I feel like I'm too talented just to focus on one thing. It's just a matter of, I think, micromanaging everything, and time, having discipline with your time. I think that's what a lot of great people and entrepreneurs do. They know how to manage their time, and they know how to micromanage something. They'll set something up, and then they'll let it work itself, and then they'll just kind of micromanage from a distance. So that's why I'm trying to get to that point, actually.
Yeah, that's really a key to like a lot of factors, right? Just being a good manager and how to manage your time. It's key for a lot of things. I remember I think I had like I ran sites in 4 different states,
Wow.
and my agenda like was always packed. Always had something to do. I managed it well when we're, let's say, at 5 o'clock, I'm done.
Wow.
What bothered me the most was like when my boss, the VP, were throw me a curveball and just fuck up my whole schedule. That drive me crazy. Like, um, the time yeah, it's essential. Once you know how to manage your time, you're able to do so much and become successful in a blink of an eye.
100%. What I've realized that successful people do, they have a routine, and with the routine, it consists of I'm trying to still work on my routine. Don't get it twisted. I'm
No,
trying to tweak.
same here, man. Same here.
I'm trying to tweak it all the time. But successful people usually don't like Elon Musk, for example. He only sleeps like 4 to 6 hours a day.
Damn.
Um, they don't have time to sleep. But what he does, he has his routine schedule. Same thing with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, of course, the CEO of Geico and Berkshire Hathaway, and of course, he's made his money through the stock market. But Buffett does the same thing every day. He wakes up, drives his old car, he goes to McDonald's, and he reads the newspaper. How he finds his stocks is through the newspaper. He doesn't go through social media. He does it the old school way. As for me, my routine, what I try to do is wake up, thank God, drink some tea. I
Amen
try
to
to
that.
meditate. I try to work out, try to listen to the Bible, and then try to get the day started. Sometimes take a nap in between there and try to do marketing and stuff. So I'm trying to tweak the routine, but that just works for me for right now. But
That that
what's your routine like? What's your routine like?
my routine. My routine. I wake up either 6 or 7. Those are either the time. By that time, my son is already up. Uh, give him his bottle, breakfast, and from there my day starts. Drink a cup of coffee. Because my son is autistic, I got my therapist. Thankfully, I'm able to have a help now and have my therapist come to the house. So she's here from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Uh, at that time, I had I had fucking made breakfast. Now I'm ready to do lunch. I mean dinner. In between all that time, I'm either marketing my podcast or marketing my clothing line. Uh, research research any available homes for sale so I could forward it to my wife's clients. Market her as market her real estate. Take orders like my t-shirt printing business. Build quotes and like with me my like that's the beauty of having your own business. You manage the way it works for you. So right now, like when I started my t-shirt printing business, I don't take I started not taking anything less than 10 shirts, right? It has to be more because there's no financial in it. I'm not making money. If anything, I'm making the money that I put out. So as transition and grow and evolve, you start learning what's works for you. So I do all that, right? If not, my wife handle the quotation, all that stuff, and I'm the manual labor. I print the shirts, boom, 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 right? When that is not that, I'm looking for clients like yourself that have some inspirational story and background. They just wants to share, right? That's what the platform is about. Schedule them, you know, edit. I edit my own podcast. I do everything myself.
Wow.
Uh, and that's on a Monday. Monday at 3 o'clock. At 2, I'm leaving the house because I have to take my son to therapy to another location. Tuesday, wake up early, take my son to therapy, come back home. Same, it's all that, man, all that.
Man, you
Oh,
you're a man of many talents, man. That is truly amazing. Sometimes, like, do you ever have to stop and tell yourself, like I am doing all this, like I am Superman, I am the man of the house, and I am a father, I am a husband, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a podcaster. So you have to
no,
you take
man, no, no. Honestly, just trying to find the words and explain everything I do. I stumble my words because it's so much, but no, I don't. I've never taken the time out and you know say the things all I do because it's not about me. My time will come to be appreciated. I try to appreciate my wife, you know, give her that spotlight. My son, that every day he's doing better and better and better. Individuals like yourself that have the show, but I never throw myself flowers, man, because at the end of the day, I feel like it's not enough. See,
100%.
I have this thing inside me that it's not wanting more, it's capitalizing on every moment I have. So it's whether it's washing clothes or having this amazing conversation with you. I'm trying to capitalize every moment of life because that's why we're here to live it.
100% agree, man. I think I like that. I like that. I think you're very humble and you're very hungry. You could tell that just talking to you. You're not complacent either. Like a lot of people get stagnant and complacent at what they have going on in life. And people like me and you, I think that we're very talented and we just like to focus on what tasks we have going on now, and then go to the next thing and just keep that thing rolling. So I commend you, man. And
Thank you,
also,
thank you.
what I like about you shout out your wife. I've been married going on 4 years now, going on 4 years, crazy. Um, and every good king has a queen right next to his side, man. Shout out to you, your wife as well. So
Thank you, thank you.
shout her out. Shout out to our wives, my wife as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes, yes.
She's gonna go back and look at this. I got to make sure I shout her out. Her name was Felicia.
Shout out to Felicia.
100%.
Yeah, man. I tell you this much. I've been married for going on 6 years. It hasn't been an easy road. It has not, but this is what we're made of. The times that like I want to say young friends, right? Because I'm already, after you're 30, they consider you to be old, right?
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes we're more younger than them.
100%.
Right. So when I'm asked these questions, I tell, I do my best to explain that marriage is, once you get married, like forget about relationship, forget about boyfriend and girlfriend and whatnot. Once you're married, it's different. It's commitment,
Yes.
it's loyalty, it's understanding. There's so much thing that goes that is sometimes unexplainable into marriage, right? So I tell people all the time, once you get married, it's like a nice road. And then at least you expect that you both fall in that hole, right?
Yeah.
And in order for you, that hole it means so many things from insecurities to problems to financial stability, a lot of things, right? So what happens sometimes is that if you have to overcome whatever problem there is so that both of you can get out of that hole. Because if you don't, one is going to stay in the hole, meaning that they're going to be all their lives stuck in that moment while you slowly started to climb out and save yourself. And that's what sometimes divorce comes, right? So it's like, and I'm doing the best explainer, right? It's you both have to put in that work and overcome so much so that you both could come up that hole and enjoy this thing called life together, because that's why you guys became united for, right?
I agree. I think I tell people all the time, and I'm going to write about this in the next book. I tell people all the time. The next book is titled, by the way, is Leveled Up. So this one's leveling up. The next one is leveled up.
There you
Um,
go. Official.
yes, but what I want to talk about in the next book is more so relationships. Like a lot of people, you probably get this too. I get this once in a while. How do you get married? How do you know she's the one? How do you know he's the one? And I tell people all the time, man, it's very simple. You find someone to put up with your BS, and someone puts up with your BS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things attribute to a relationship, a healthy relationship. Like you said, communication. You got to have good communication. Laughter. I think laughter is very important, and also you got to be mature enough to be in a marriage.
Yes.
A lot of people aren't mature enough to get married. If you feel like you haven't sold your royal oats, or you haven't got, I call it getting that hoe out. If you haven't got that hoe out, don't get married. A lot of marriages end up in divorce because of infidelity.
Mm.
So you have to be mature enough to deal with what you're talking about, which is the different bumpy roads in the relationship of marriage. Um, but I tell people all the time, it's a beautiful thing. When you find someone that God has paired you with, and it's just that one person, and they're there for you, they understand your language, and you understand them. And you may have your days where everyone has their days with their marriage, right? But at least you
Yes.
still you have that person. So it's a very beautiful thing. So I'm definitely
Yes.
writing about that in the
Yes.
next one.
Yes. You gotta you gotta write it with your wife.
You know, the funny part, my wife gave me the green light because what I want to do is I want to take people through the transition of where I started in relationships, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and then I'm gonna lead up to marriage and what works for my marriage. And if they get the gems, they get the gems. But she allowed me to talk about my exes in the book, so I got the green light.
Hey
Because I want people
man.
to understand.
Yeah,
I want them
yeah.
to, you know,
It's it's able it's trying to uh teach people the lesson. You know, some people just read the lines, but they're not really understanding the message that the lesson has given you to write whatever you need to write down.
yes, that's what life's about. It's all about lessons. So I love it, man, and I'm looking forward to. I'm writing the next book right now. I'm giving myself more time to become a better writer, but I'm gonna publish it next year, December 17th. I'm gonna continue with the formula I have because it worked. Um, this is crazy because this is the eighth podcast I've been on this year
There you
to promote
go.
the book. Because I wasn't able to do book signing. I do sign books and send them to people. But as far as like doing a launching of the book, I couldn't do it because it was December 17th, the pandemic was going on. So I'm looking forward to maybe next year actually renting out a venue, doing a book signing, and doing it that way. But for right now, the audio book is on the way.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome. Yes.
I'm working on the audio book. I'm almost done with that, and then the physical book they can buy it on Amazon. Um, and it's I'm working on the second one, so
There
I'm
you go,
excited.
guys. How was the your experience with this whole pandemic?
It was rough, and I say that because my wife she was pregnant. My son was born
Wow.
March 19th, 2020. So writing a book,
Right there in the
being
peak when it first started.
yes, it was crazy. Being a husband, being a writer, so I had to kind of find time in between being having a newborn and then writing and then still catering and being there for my wife. And at the time, I was still in the medical field. Like I said, I worked in the medical field 13 years. And just with everything going on, it was kind of scary because I've been through Ebola, swine flu, other different things, but coronavirus wasn't going away. So dealing with that, having to be double masked and dealing with that situation was a little hectic when I went back to work. But um, I managed like everyone else. You got to just persevere. How about yourself? How do you guys deal with it?
Well, we're here, right? We're here on the podcast. I hustled like it was no pandemic. I started investing in myself rather than continue investing my time for other places that I wasn't really going up. You know, I wanted it. I wanted more for myself. January 4th, 2021, I officially launched the podcast.
Wow.
Right now, I think you're going to be my 40th episode.
Woo. Okay.
Yep. For
All
40,
right.
40 weeks straight, nonstop.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's amazing. But is it therapeutic for you because you get to meet and talk to so many different people and learn and express yourself? So has it been therapeutic journey
It,
for
it
you?
has, man. It's been beautiful because I've been able to like when I first started, I just wanted to like help people that had small businesses and try to expose them to help them get business, right? And just come on the show, we'll talk about it, whatever. But then something happened that it became something more, than talk about your business, talking about life in general, ups and downs, journey, meaningful things, and where somebody can either listen or watch your story so they can empathize and say, if he did it, I can do it.
Mm,
right?
mm,
It's and that's what it's. I've fallen in love so much with it because we're every episode is different. Every episode is a documentary, and where people tell their stories on how difficult it was, but yet they were so determined to overcome this. You
mm,
know, like I remember, I don't know where I read it or somewhere. Steve Harvey said, "It's hell, but why would you stop in hell? And it feels like hell. Why would you stop?" And I'm probably botching this whole quote, but it is if you're going through a tough time and it feels like hell, why would you stop there?
mm, mm.
Right.
Love it.
So, I've gotten to meet some incredible people that have, on and off camera, on and off recording audio, some incredible conversations that has helped me as a person, as a human being, as a father, as a husband, as a producer, as a brand owner, whatever. And it is really has changed my life.
Mm,
And I find I'm not making money out of this, but if all the lessons I've learned has enriched me as a person. That saying of you work a day doing something you love, and in your life, it's like you never worked before, and that's how I feel.
mm.
Meeting individuals like yourself, and just having. Here's the thing: we live in the year 2021, right? We've gone through so much shit, right? But one thing we have lost is the literally interface, physical face, having a conversation with a person, right? If it's not about drama, it's not about problems, if it's not about some ignorant crap on pop culture, if it's not about text messages or video chat, you know, we have lost something as being humans to be able to talk to one another and have a simple conversation about anything, but let it be meaningful.
I agree.
And that's all I've through my podcast, that's all I've been wanting to do. Like I tell people all the time, if you think this is an interview, you're wrong. I'm failing because it's not.
I agree. And one thing I'm gonna let the viewers know because I'm gonna promote it like hell. I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's one thing I like. If anyone brings me on their platform, my goal is always to get the most viewers. So no here nor there. But one thing that he told me in the beginning, people was it's not scripted, and you could just tell it's real organic talk. It's me learning about him learning about me. Just vibing off one another and learning from one another. I tell people all the time, you can always learn from anyone. You just gotta be
Yes.
willing to listen.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, people always have a story. You just have to listen to their story. I love all the backstories, like especially Steve Harvey. Like a lot of people think they see the finished product. Oh, he or she is so successful. No, you gotta know the backstory of how they got successful, the failures, the no's. I like to tell people all the time. Thomas Edison, it took him 9,099 times and he failed at the light bulb. The 1,000th time is when it worked. So imagine failing at something 9,999 times. And usually people, I'm sorry, 900 times, 999 times. And usually,
It's a lot of numbers. Don't worry about it, brother.
yes, facts. And usually people, they give up after one thing because it's like, oh, it's too hard. I'm like, no, successful people don't give up at anything. It's never a loss, it's always a lesson. I tell people all the time, it's never a loss, it's always a lesson. So a lot of people give up too early when they find out a little grain of struggle. I'm like, no, successful people that that are successful in life, they don't give up, you know.
Yes, 100%. In failure, there is the lesson. That's why you see like there's certain peoples that, when they first start, they it's like they go all the way to the top. But then when they get there, they go through so much things that they fall and don't know how to get up. Is because they never had that. You need failure. It's like riding a bike for the first time. You're gonna fall. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna scrape your knee, right? but then you get back on it and you keep writing it and you keep writing it. And it's it's committing, right? Commitment. That's something I learned recently. It, it's it's like, let's go back to the theory of, let's go back to your book, right? How many rough drafts were there until you finally got your final product, right? Let me go further, right? Let me go further. How many editors did you go through before you found the right one,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
There's going to be times you're going to fail. There's going to be times things are not going to work. But in order for them to work, you need to be committed. You need to accept the good and the bad, right? You need to expect that your success, your number one book, right? That in the future you will have. You need to go through all these transitions of learning. Okay, this time I'm gonna do something different. Let me try to better it. Let me try to evolve it, right? And you
mm,
need to continue that because of commitment. If you have no commitment, there will be no book, right?
agree, agree. I agree. Hey, I love that, man. I like that. Like I said, I'm a certified life coach, so I love picking up on little gems, man. One of my favorite lines from J. Cole is, "It's beauty in the struggle, and it's ugliness in the success," right? And I use failure as fuel. That's why I tell people all the time: use all your failure as fuel. Learn from it, but just use it as fuel, because you're going to fail at something.
Yes.
Whether it's your business, whether it's whatever. I tell people all the time: my goal is to go 1-0 every day, be the best person, the best version of myself that I can be every day. Sometimes I come up short, but then tomorrow I try, learn from that lesson and try. So yeah, I tell people all the time, just use your failure as fuel, and you'll be okay.
Yes, yes. 100%. 100%. I totally agree. How did you get into all these life coach certification and being these awesome motivational speaker you are?
Well, I think what it was like growing up, I've always been athletic. I ran track, played football, played soccer, played volleyball, and usually for some reason I didn't try to seek out to be a captain, but 9 times out of 10 I would be a captain. Even with my job, I'll always end up being like a team leader or something like that. So I think naturally I just kind of gravitated to it. I was like, well, everyone's technically a life coach. I want people to understand that
Mhm.
everyone's a life coach. Um, it's just I ended up getting a certification through New Skills Academy. But I tell people all the time, we're all life coaches. We just have to be willing to listen to one another. I can learn from you. You can learn from me. We can learn from someone else. I tell people all the time, you have to. I can give people information all the time. It's what you're going to do with it. Because
Mhm.
I'm always dropping gems. And that's with anybody in life. You can go talk to a stranger and you can learn something from that person. But are you going to take with what you've learned from them and utilize it? So that's how I stumbled into life coaching. I was like 20, maybe like, no, I was lying. I got a certification when I was 30, I believe, 30 or 31, somewhere around there, because time passes you when you're 30, right?
Yeah.
I was like, let me go ahead and get certified. And then I ended up getting certified through New Skills Academy. They took me through some courses, and I have 2 life coaching clients right now. One's trying to obtain a vending machine business. The other one is trying to start a club. And with a life coach, all you're doing is you're helping that person with their journey and try to assist them as best as they can, as you can, to accomplish their goal. So it's a pretty dope feeling. It's helping people. So it's a pretty dope feeling.
That's what's up, man. How do you like, do people find you, or do you approach them like, hey, you need help? I'm here for you.
I kind of like right now, if I could do it 24/7, I would, but I kind of like pick, choose, and refuse the clients I could kind of work with. Eventually, I want to branch the business out and create a network. So what I want to do is I have a young lady, she's a psychiatrist. Because I tell people all the time, as a life coach, I'm not a certified therapist. But what I want to do is I want to bring a psychiatrist on my team, and then I want to bring on a personal trainer on my team, and I want to bring on a financial advisor on the team. So somebody that if you need help with fixing your credit, if you need help with getting a house, starting in the stock market or saving, I want to have a financial advisor for that. If you want to physically get right, I'm going to have a personal trainer, so he can train you how to eat right, or she can train you how to eat right, how to work out, and then the mental with the therapist. I'm still working on those things to kind of grow the company. So eventually, I can get more clients once I get everything lined up.
That's so all in one,
Yeah,
all in
we're a
one, all in.
consulting company. Yeah.
So what else do you do? I know you do marketing as well.
Yeah, so the marketing business, we have 10 clients right now. The name of the company is called D&C Creative Services LLC. Super dope company, man. I'm blessed to have an amazing business partner. Her name is Shondell Clark. She got her her bachelor's from Winston State University and her master's from High Point. And she had a PR background, and I had a marketing background, and we came together and formed D&C. So we've been rocking and rolling, man. We have a lot of plethora of services. You can find us at DNC creative.org, or you can follow all our platforms at DNC Services or Creative Services on Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere, LinkedIn. Um, then I just partnered up with and bought into another company, Q Jackson Apparel.
There you
So he's
go.
my new business partner. He has all the copyrights to a lot of the HBCUs in North Carolina. So go to Q Jackson Apparel Company .com, and he has dope clothing line. We have a dope clothing line, I should say. Hats, shirts, you name it, man. We got it. So super dope, good quality, and that's pretty much it. Q Jackson. The life coaching page is called Leveling Up 2021. So if anybody want life coaching services, I'm always on that page dropping gems, and I do something called Motivational Monday. Like I said, I'm writing the next book, so I'm always on the go.
Now, where are you based off?
North Carolina. But I have a client in DC. I have a client in Atlanta. So with marketing, you can market anywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, what I do with the marketing company is I help people build their brand via social media. So I help you build your audience. I help you put out content kind of to help reflect the image of your brand. But you can market anywhere. But I'm based out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
So you're able to do a Zoom and work with other clients from New York, New Jersey. So you're able to expand. So you're not limited, which is a lot of people don't really do that.
100%. It's marketing. Like I said, that's the beautiful thing about marketing. You can market from home. You can be on vacation and still market. This thing right here, and social media has allowed us to, your laptop has allowed, the internet has allowed us to do a lot of things. So I remember back in the day where, sidebar, I was living in Irvington, New Jersey. This is like 99.
Wow.
And man, my cats used to have pages, man. And actually I have some interesting stories about Irvington. I kind of take people through a transition in the book and drop little gems. So, but I've lived in Irvington, New Jersey, um, Brooklyn, New York, Far Rockaway, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Chicago, and Los Angeles, all before the age of 12 years old.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
that's a life experience in itself.
100%. And I've learned from all those different places and different cultures. That's why I'm a very diverse person, because growing up in New York, growing up in the big city, that's what I kind of do miss. Down south is good as well. It's Southern hospitality. But up north, you can learn from a Haitian, learn from Puerto Rican, learn from a Dominican, go to school with Irish, different. It's a melting pot. That's what I do love about bigger cities. It's really a melting pot versus down south. It's a little different down here.
I would love to go to North Carolina to visit. I
You
love
have
that big space. I love that.
100%. Let me know, man, anytime. North Carolina has beautiful beaches, and honestly, with your wife and you and your wife being in real estate, one thing about North Carolina is you'll get more land for you, more money for your land. Like people get
Yeah.
acres for a lot cheaper down here.
Yeah,
So
that's what a lot of people have told me, that they're like it you could get a lot for an affordable price. Does not say cheap, affordable price. Like I've always wanted like acres. I want big land, you know, like I need to be like in between, city, but not too far,
I
I
agree.
like my space a lot.
Hey, that's one thing I don't miss about the city, just the congestion of it. But
Yes.
it's more to
Overpopulated.
do. Yes. Oh, fun fact: it's 9 million people in the state of North Carolina. There are 9 million people in the city of New York. So
Wow.
just just imagine. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and even with Jersey, I like Jersey too. I remember being little and riding the PATH train, going through Newark, Hoboken, Plainfield, all those places, going to before 9/11, going through Port Authority and all those places. So it was pretty dope.
Yeah, and New Jersey has a lot of dope places, man. They have a lot of nice places, but it's too expensive, man. It's crazy, You literally get a hole in the wall for like $2,000, and it's literally a hole in the wall. Like things are changing drastically. The
Mm.
price is going up, and it's not worth it when you're living in top of one another and you don't have that space. We as people need space,
Mm.
right? To think, to not feel overwhelmed, to decompress our emotions. But when you have a lot of people, on you and you don't get to breathe and feel like you can stretch, it starts driving you crazy. Start, that's why so many people out here don't know how to act, because it's just so like they're stuck in this small room with 20 other people, and you when you come outside, you're just releasing everything.
I agree, and that's another thing what I like about down south. The crime rate is nowhere near up north. Like cities like Jersey, Philly and New York and Boston and those places up north. It's so in DC is so congested. The crime rate is so high because, like you said, people are always, they're like almost like sardine cans. We're all close to one another. Down south is not as much, but it's more spaced out. Now, granted, the drawback is you don't make as much money as well. Up
Mm.
north, you guys have the ability to make a lot more money, but the cost of living is so high.
Yeah,
Down south, vice versa, not as much money, but you get, bang for your buck.
I mean, but either way, like, it's, if you look at numbers, it still doesn't make sense. Like, you here we get, like you said, you get paid well, but are you really getting paid well when you can almost make your rent? You know,
That is true.
like,
A lot of people in New York and Jersey have roommates. You got to have roommates.
yeah, yeah. Like, my cousins live in Buffalo, New York. Like, they're
Are
literally like 5-10 minutes away from Canada. Their rent is $400,
you
and,
serious?
yeah, and they have like, they live in like this house with 3 different floors.
Hey, another drawback too is that weather. Y'all up north, the weather. I can
Mm.
just imagine the weather in Buffalo, in Jersey, in New York. I don't miss the snow. I don't miss any of that.
I can imagine, man. I hate the snow. I Now that I have a son, I do my best to enjoy and like Christmas and build snowmans and whatnot. But I could live without it. I could totally live without it. Well, I grew up in Puerto Rico all my life, so like, I'm a Caribbean dude.
There you go. Just the food and the culture alone, man. You're a warm weather type of guy, man. So
Yeah, it's
Dio, if I've
beautiful.
if I haven't by now, I've convinced you at least to come vacation down south. Next family trip is down south.
Yes, yes. Well, I've been like, I want to go to Montana. I have no reason why. I don't know why. It's just like, I think I could be like a man, like, just go hunting and shit. You know, let's
Dio,
get let's get me some deer and shit. I don't. I just I want to enjoy the view of, like, I like that forest view type, mountain type of thing. Like, where you go, your mind just, you get like a whole reset. I
yeah,
I need that from time to time in my life. Over
I
here, over here, you
go
can't
ahead.
even see the stars, man.
Mm. I tell people all the time, the one thing that I do, or wherever I go, I always the one place I always love is the beach, and I love a good sunset and I love a good sunrise.
Mm.
When I go to
Same
when I
here,
when I
man.
man, look, I always enjoy a good view because it allows me to take in the breeze, look at the sun, like just always take that one little moment. I could just imagine Montana, the mountainous, the sunrise and the sunset. I'm not an outdoorsman like that. You can have it, but I remember going to Venice Beach. I love Venice Beach in LA because it's a beautiful. LA itself is surrounded by mountains. People don't realize that. But LA is a beautiful place. So I can just imagine the mountainous view in Montana, Wyoming, those places.
Yeah, man. I think it's more, I think, just hearing you talk, I think for me it's more like the silence.
Mm,
I need silence sometimes to just like you meet people, in your walk in life, you meet people that explain that their inner voice is too loud.
mm,
My inner voice is quiet. Like
mm.
if anything, my inner voice, it's telling me to tell the people to shut the fuck up. Because I need that, like, you know I'll say this. When I was, before I got married and I had my son, like, I I never took for granted my silence, man. And now I appreciate it because the noise I have is my son laughing, my wife laughing, it's having fun. It's noise that it's valuable. It's
Yeah.
it's it's meaningful, And if I can have that, I'm good. But if once they grow up, like silence rather than like I still live in the hood, so I get ambulance noise, I get shootings, I get people arguing, a lot of rap, some of it good, some of it bad, ambulance, fire trucks. I get that it's like a traffic noise.
Mm,
It's not silence that you can sit back and finally take a deep breath and say
mm.
everything's gonna be okay.
I like that. Like, I mean, that's peaceful. Like, I think you know what works for you, and you know how to find your peace and channel your energy, right? And like you said, sometimes I do like that peace of quiet. That moment where it's like I can take that deep breath and you don't hear, like you said, my children are probably around the same age. My son's about to be 2 coming up, and that Joker's a ball of energy, man.
Yeah. Oh man, my son.
Look, it
Yeah,
ain't no quiet moment.
I
Go ahead.
feel you. I feel as a father. I feel you 100%.
My wife, our wives always have a honey to-do list. It's always something to do. But I tell people all the time, when I go on vacation or if I go anywhere, I like a staycation more than anything because I don't have to go somewhere. But when I go somewhere, I don't like going anywhere past 2 or 3 days because I always miss my bed. I always miss my own home. If I go somewhere, it's like, damn, I wish I was in my own bed. Or oh, I've had enough of this place. I'm ready to go home. Because I've done so much that and seen so much. I'm not saying I don't want to see anything else, but
Hmm.
for me, I enjoy just peace and quiet, like you. Like it's just like
Hmm.
I don't have to go to a lot of places to have a good time. No, having a good time is spending time with my wife, my son,
Yeah,
going to the
man.
park. You know, that's a good time for me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that one. I feel that 100%. I like, for me, vacation. So I don't. It's what is vacation when I grew up all my life in the Caribbean. I lived where you go to vacate, right? And another thing is, like, I go to vacation sometimes, and I feel like I do more work on being in vacation than I'm doing in my house. I got I got to wake up early. I got to get out the room before they charge me extra fees. I got to do all this. I got to go. Like, it's me doing the same thing I do home, like in my surroundings, just in different location.
You're right.
Like, my vacation is going to a beach in Puerto Rico, grabbing a damn beach chair, sitting down, either having next to me a Corona or una medalla or a Heineken, and watching the sunset from sunrise to sunset, and that's it. Enjoying that. That's a vacation.
Yeah, God, you just enticed me just to go to Port. Like I said, I'm so I know I haven't really gone a lot of places, or we haven't gone a lot of places post pandemic. We went to Mexico 2019, but my son's godfather is from Dominican Republic. Um, and I just want to go to the Caribbean as far as just the culture, just the food, y'all. Just it's just amazing, amazing feeling, you know.
We do.
Yeah.
I went. I went like a couple of years back. Went to Tennessee,
Mm,
Nashville, Tennessee, and ever since then, I want to go back, but my wife doesn't want to go back.
mm,
Like there's this long strip, not too far from Tennessee Titans Stadium.
okay.
Oh man, it's beautiful. I ate so many different types of barbecue chicken, barbecue pork. I went to the Johnny Cash Museum, which was awesome. Man, I went and I was only there for like 3 days. I did so much. Like I did so much, and I miss it. I went to this bar right next to it's called Coyote Ugly. It's a bar right
Okay.
next to it. It's called Dick's Last Resort. It's like the whole motto of the restaurant is that the waiters are being dicks to you. So they'll take like a piece of paper and write something messed up on it and like tape it to your head. And I remember this is before me and my wife got married. She understand the concept, right? She was like, "What's going on here?" And the bartender described, basically described what's the concept. And she looked at me and she looked at the bartender and she was like, "You have made the wrong mistake." And I was like, I felt free. I took his tip, I put inside a cup of water. I had fun.
That sounds like fun. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, man, it was a great adventure. I need to do it again. That's all I gotta say.
100%, man. Enjoy life. Got you, man.
My trip that I really want to go to, I'm just waiting on like how the pandemic, because everything is still uncertain. Like, are we still in a pandemic? Are we not? You're forcing me to get a vaccine that's not going to help me in the long run. Uh,
Touche.
yeah, it's not. Uh, it's like oh flip flop. Like I want to go to Ireland.
Mm,
Ireland. I want to see I want to see those green mountains. I want to see those castles and whatnot. Like that's some shit I want to go to.
100%. That intrigues me too. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, man. So, like, what's next for this? I want to hear more about your motivation speaking. Like, what do you have? What's like you said you had every something Monday.
Yeah, motivational Mondays. It's basically I just go off quotes. Um, Prime example. Let me look up a great quote I just did. I just read off quotes and stuff, and then I give you stories behind it too. Um, and it's super dope. I do it every Monday. I told the people I'm doing it. I took a break. My next episode is October the 18th, kind of a couple days before my birthday, and then I'm gonna be back to Motivation Mondays every Monday starting November, finishing the year off strong. October, I just have such a hectic schedule.
Yeah.
I'm moving into an office in November, so it's just a lot going on. But this is one of my favorite quotes from Motivational Monday. Super dope. God is giving me everything I wanted. I just have to do my part. So little
Mm.
quotes like that. Then this is another good one. Some of them are spiritual, some of them are just motivation, like gems I dropped, financial advice, all kinds of stuff. The will of God will not take you where the grace of God won't protect you.
Mm.
That one was tough. And then this is the last one. I just dropped this today, yesterday, and it was fake people have an image to maintain. Real people just don't give a fuck.
Yes, that's some real
So I'm,
shit right there.
yeah, I'm always dropping gems on there, man. I just kind of just read over those gems and give the people motivation to carry them out throughout the week.
Let me ask you, you're in North Carolina. Have you heard of the Elevation Church that's in North
Yes,
Carolina?
yes,
I
yes.
watch it. Well, I don't watch it. I just, it's on YouTube, so I let it play. Um, some good stuff in that church, man. Every Sunday they're on, I'm watching it. We'll listen to it.
They got a lot of they have a lot of churches, elevation churches in North Carolina. My church is
I
a
think
non-denominational.
Steve Wolko, something, not Steve Wolko, that's the other guy. So yeah, I'm sorry.
I know exactly who you're talking about though. That was
Yeah,
the guy
yeah,
from Jerry.
yeah.
But the type of the elevation churches, they have a lot of them, and all of them I've heard nothing but good things about them. So yeah, I like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's Elevation Church. Yeah. They have like a YouTube live every Sunday. It's a young pastor.
it. Okay.
He's a young pastor. He's like he's brolic as hell. He's fucking uh yeah, it's good, man. It's really good. He had a pastor the first time I watched. He had this pastor that I can't remember his name, but I bought his audiobook. Uh it's like squeezing grapes or something like that
Okay.
to make wine. So his book and his whole story is like, we're like grapes. Life squeezes us, squeezes us and takes the juice to become wine. And wine, as the year goes by, gets better and better and better, more valuable. So when you feel like God is squeezing you, taking your juice out, we shouldn't worry because we'll become wine, and wine will become greater.
That's the deal. Like that's dropping gems right there. I like that.
Yeah,
Wherever pastor dropped that, that's dope. I
yeah,
like
man.
that. It's dope.
So yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm a Christian or a Catholic or not, but I do believe in God. And as the years progress, me building family and a foundation, I've got very close to my spiritual side, that people will say, right? And I'll tell you this much: he's real, man. He's real. He's 100% real.
He is, man. I think that's one thing going back to the pandemic. I think a lot of people don't realize that's what God or I'm like you. Um, as long as you believe in the higher power, that's what I do care about. But I'm not the type of person where I'm judgmental to the point where I
Yeah,
tell you who to believe in. But one thing I would say that for me, God has taught me and other people to focus on your family and focus on your loved ones. That's what the pandemic has taught me, at least, because for a while the world has shut down and you had to stay home. And he was telling everyone, I believe his message was to focus on him. We've lost light of a lot of distractions, entertainment, social media, all kind of BS. But for him, he was like, yo, take the time to focus back on me and on your loved ones and things that really matter versus your job and everything, all the BS in life, right? That's what I
yeah,
believe that he was trying to tell us during the pandemic.
yeah, yeah. The lessons I've learned throughout this whole pandemic has, nothing's more valuable than your family, your health, and what's important, like there's people with money that it didn't matter how much money you had, you don't know you're gonna be saved or not.
And I want to write about it, but I don't. I don't. And I say that I wrote a paper about this a long time ago. I tell people all the time, to me, there is no such thing as a right or wrong religion. And I say that because let's say, Jamaicans, they believe in the Rasta. Um, certain people believe in Judaism, Hinduism, or Allah, right? And let's just say hypothetically, that's what they grew up knowing for at least from birth to 12 years old. So you're trying to tell me that they're going to go to hell because that's what they believe in and that's what they've known their whole life or until a certain extent of their life? No, I don't think that's right. I don't think there is no one religion that's going to take us straight to heaven or take us straight to wherever because I don't think our God or God is not going to allow us to be in a situation where we're all going to go to hell just because we don't believe in Christianity, or we're all going to go to hell just because we don't believe in Judaism, Hinduism, or Allah or whatever, right? But also, like I said, I do go back and stick to my morals, my beliefs, that you do have to have a higher power. You do need to pray to someone. You do need to focus on someone. And every particular book, whether it's the Quran or the Bible, or those books are just guidelines to help us live our lives. But as long as you believe in the higher power, that's the most important thing. Because we don't know what God looks like. We have no idea. And I'm going to leave you with this biggest mystery too. I want you to think about this too. So God created the universe. He created the heavens, the earth, and he created the earth, in 6 days and rested on the seventh, right? But at the end of the day, if you think about it from like a deep standpoint, the universe is infinite. We don't know how big the universe is. There are stars, constellations, planets, blase, blase. But if you think about it, there's something in the universe. God created that. Well, where did God come from? Like, there has to be something there.
Yeah, it's like that. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Exactly. So we don't even have the answer to that question there. We don't know if God's a man, woman, Shem, Kim, Rim. We don't know. So what holds us together is our beliefs.
Hope.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
It's hope. That's all we need, brother. So you're dropping next year, you're dropping a new book.
Yes.
You got your marketing, your financial. Bro, you are busy.
No, I would say we're busy. And I thought about our titles. We're moguls, man. We're always busy. Man. We're moguls. We're going to stay busy, man. So yeah, I am a very busy man.
I hope that when you drop that book, you come back and we get to chop it up again.
You have my word, I will. You have my word, I will.
So before we go, I'd like to ask my listeners, my guests, so that my listeners and viewers know where to find you. Tell the people where they can find you at.
100%. So my personal page, sidebar, I'm a big DC fan, but the one person that I love villain-wise is Thanos. Only reason being is because he did what he said he was going to do. Right?
Yes.
That's the only villain I like, period. It's Joker too, but Thanos is right. So my personal page is Chise, because my real name is Francis, but everybody calls me Franchise or Chise, like a business. So my personal page is Chise, CHISE _ Thanos. You know how to spell Thanos. And then my life coaching page is Leveling Up 2021. And then my business page is DNC Creative Services LLC. So if you follow any one of them, I'm going to follow you from multiple pages, clients pages, all the 9 yards. But just follow Chise, and I'll follow you. Anyone else, whoever's listening or watching, off those pages.
Boom! There you go, guys. Let them know where they can find the book at.
The book, you can find the book on Amazon. It's a very dope book. I mean, I give you spiritual stories, financial stories, how to invest in the stock market, how to start your own business. I give you a story how I went to Alaska in one day. Other little gems I drop in there. Give you sports stories. I'll give you a poem. The book is very diverse, and you can find it on Amazon. I'm working on the audiobook now. It's called Leveling Up with Francis Castillo, mentally, spiritually, and financially.
Boom. There you go, guys. Thank you for joining me, Francis. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure, my brother. I hope you had fun. Please, let's do this again. Thank you for joining me, man. Have a good night. I'm out.
Thank you.